Welcome back to a chapter a day. Happy Wednesday, and it is August the 7th, and we will be reading chapter 17 of Joshua. We may be encountering a number of names again, some repetitions of what were previously read, but here we go. There was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. So they're still allotting lands to the rest of the tribes who have not yet been appointed lands. So this one is for Manasseh and his descendants. Verse 2. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families. Okay, so here comes the names. I'm just going to go through the names. For the children of Abiezer, Helek, Asriel, Shechem, Hepher, Shemida. These are all the children of Manasseh. And Manasseh was Joseph's son. And then you have verse 3. But Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons but daughters. And I think I made mention of this before. And then these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. So I think I forementioned this after we previously read it, because I was comparing it to what Caleb gave to his daughter, seeing that she was not maybe the firstborn, nor a firstborn male, nor a male, period. I think that's why it was mentioned in the Bible that he gave his daughter land, which may not have been the regular way or the custom for them to do that long ago. Verse 5, And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the other side Jordan, because the daughters of among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Michmethah, that lieth before Shechem, and the border went along on the right hand unto the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. Some of these names again. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing them correct, but hey, I'm trying. Verse 8. Now Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the coast descended unto the river Kana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river, and the outgoings of it were at the sea. So I'm not sure if maybe Manasseh and Ephraim's land kind of bordered each other. Verse 10. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea is his border. So I believe so. And they met together in Asher on the north, and in Issachar on the east. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Beth Shean and her towns, and Ibleam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries. Later on, we're going to hear some of these names being repeated, and if we remember, we'll say, hey, maybe that, yeah, I remember that was the land allotted to whatever tribe. Verse 12. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell with them in the land. Yet it came to pass, when the children of Israel were waxen strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. And I seem to be reading this for every tribe. They seem to be having problems with at least one group of their enemies that they cannot eradicate. Verse 14. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joshua, saying, Why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people? Forasmuch as the Lord hath blessed me hitherto. And Joshua answered them, If thou be a great people, then thou get thee up to the wood country, and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us. And all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bethshean and her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people, and hast great power. Thou shalt not have one lot only. But the mountain shall be thine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoings of it shall be thine. For thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. So I think what's happening here, the children of Joseph are kind of looking at the land they have, and they're not too happy with it. They don't think it's enough. So they're thinking to themselves, the Canaanites are dwelling up in the mountains there, but Joshua is telling them that's their land too. But now they have a problem because they don't think they can drive out the Canaanites. But Joshua is telling them, hey, you're strong enough. You go up there and you claim the land for yourself. That's your land too. So we'll see if maybe they got that done. But that's the end of the reading for chapter 17. And sometimes, you know what, as I have been reading, and it's always mentioning how one group of people have seemed unconquerable. They cannot drive them out. I don't know if that is God's way of saying, you know what, there will always be an enemy for you to encounter. You know, just like later on when we get to the New Testament, that thorn in the flesh of Saul, metaphorically, as he was saying, that God left a thorn in his flesh. I'm thinking maybe that's what God did here with all of these nations that got left back. At least one set of people were left back to be thorns in their flesh, so they won't become too complacent and forget the Lord who brought them forth. That they'd always have a reason to go to God and ask God for strength to fight off their enemies. I don't know, it's just like us today. We always have a thorn in our flesh there. Every single human being, whether it's inward or outward, we have a thorn in our flesh that we have to deal with, and we have to go to God. And I don't know what people do when they don't go to God. I guess they try in their own strength to fight or deal with that thorn, but it's never removed. But God always gives us the strength to deal with it. Have mercy. So, with that said, that is the end of our chapter reading for today. Again, please remember, faith comes by the hearing of God's word. So, until our next reading, have a wonderful day. Bye.